So, welcome to this live stream number 2. I'm Luciano and welcome to the adventures of LollypopMan. It's good to have you guys here. I'm going to be trying to get better at this live streaming thing. Yeah, there's a few things I thought it would be worth talking. Some things that popped out on Twitter, some things that I want to announce. We're closing into 5,000 subscribers. I'm super humbled by this. It's crazy the support that I've been getting from all of you. I'm super happy that you're finding the content that I'm doing interesting. Actually, I'm at 4,998 subscribers in this moment. Let me just show you right now. There we go. 4,998. Wow. Crazy, right? Super crazy. Never thought would make it this far. Never thought I would continue doing weekly videos for so long, even with the schedules that I handled recently. I finished the production. The last few months were really hard to combine everything, trying to keep up with the videos and also trying to actually perform at work. So yeah, I'm happy I'm here. I'm happy you guys are here as well. And yeah, let's get started with a few things. So let's show my screen. Sorry that you get to see the window, but I don't have a second screen anymore. So let's just go and open up Blender, because there's some new things that are super interesting. In fact, I'm going to go to Twitter because there was a tweet by there we go. And he showcased this thing that he's working on. And we talked about this last time, but it was at an earlier stage because that slider that you can see there was at the beginning just implemented in the 3D viewport, and now he's implementing this stuff so it also works in the graph editor directly, which is super cool because it just makes handling keyframes more powerful. And also I want to touch up a little bit on this add-on that somebody shared in the animation model today, which looks super cool. I haven't even tried it myself. I just want to take a look, a quick look at it, where it's a free add-on and you can get onion skinning on the viewport very quickly, as you can see. So that looks super cool, and it's definitely useful. So yeah, and maybe, well, we'll see where it takes us, right? So I'm gonna keep somewhere. I want to keep the what's it called? I want to keep the chat. I'm gonna keep the chat somewhere. I should maybe rearrange this so I can keep the chat without screwing everything up. Let's try and do this. Just gonna bring it on top. Sorry, this not having a second screen anymore kind of messes everything up a little bit. So just put this to the side and then pop out the chat right there, just behind the chat that you have. I'm gonna transition to that so you can see it happening all right. So I'm gonna pop the chat over here and make this screen way bigger. Boop. Yeah, I did cover myself though. Ah, there we go. But now I'm completely there. Let's have myself over there, tiny. Right there. That's gonna be better. Wait. Boop. And then, yeah, that sort of works, I guess. So transition to that. Now you can see the thing and then the live stream text. Maybe we can make it less opaque. just like very tiny opacity. Okay. So that's looking kind of good, I think. So yeah, should be good enough. Then I'm gonna keep this on top. How do I do this? I have a blip. There we go. So, as I was saying, hey, bienvenido Christian, bienvenido Ángel. Thank you for coming, guys. Whoa, my cigarette kind of came on fire for some reason. So as I was saying, I'm going to open up that Blender build. So first of all, as I was saying before, I'm going to try and talk about this thing a little bit. And so he's got a task here in the developer's website, right? Where he's creating these new keyframe manipulation tools. And if you guys want to try it yourselves at home, there's a build for Linux and one for Windows. You just click, and then here it gives you the graphic all community, and you just download it. Thank you, Jenny. Well, I don't think I'm at 5,000 yet. I'm at 4. Wait for it. 4998. So super close, super close. So we're not celebrating that yet, but we are definitely going to if it happens during the stream. Maybe it does. So yeah, so let's open up that build. I already downloaded it and compressed it, and so it's Graph Editor Ops. I'm gonna open it up here. Push it to full screen, right? Yeah, pre-party, exactly. And so let's look to make it work. I think there should be here somewhere where it says how to call for the, yeah, Alt Shift S. That's cool. And so if I create now a few keyframes here, I'm gonna create location, rotation, and scale, right? Going to move around a little bit. Yeah, that's enough. And let's make this a little bit smaller. Thank you, Daitomodachi. I'm happy that it's helping. It's helping you with your Blender journey. Are you working in a studio where they're working in Blender? That's why you mentioned your team. Tell me. Some wine to, it's Sunday night. I'm gonna push this over here, just make a little bit of a timeline. Let's go into the graph editor, and yeah. And so the idea, I'm gonna turn this off, and then this, no, that's okay. So now I can select. Oh, cool, Cloud Studio. What's it called? Thank you, Angel. So let's try and do something here. I'm just gonna add a couple of keyframes. I'm just going to go here, keying, and then put location, rotation, and scale, and key there, key there, key there. So we have a bunch of keyframes to play with. And so Shift Alt S. Yeah, there we go. So we got this little pie menu with a bunch of options to do stuff like sampling, for instance. makes makes more keyframes. Awesome. That's what I should have done in the first place, actually, which is great, right? And so if I fill it up with keyframes, now we got, if I go to the maximum, yeah, I get 1 keyframe per frame basically. But let's just focus on one of the curves so it's clearer. Whoa, Daito Modachi, that's very cool. Yeah, I'd love to see some work. And if you guys, I guess that you guys are doing everything in Blender, that should be something great, cool to see. And yeah, thank you, Angel. I'm trying to share as much as I can from what I know, and still learning every day. So hopefully I can share that with the rest of the people. I know animation, it's a not so common topic. Like there's not much information available, mostly in Blender. So like there's little information in general for animation, and for animation in Blender, which is even more specific, it's even smaller. Hey Finn, welcome. So yeah, let's do this. So as I was saying, if I go with the Shift Alt S, it's a kind of like a super extreme hotkey, but it's okay. I guess it's part of the thing. We can start by doing, hey, welcome Social Mix. Nice. So it should be working if I do smooth, but so for some reason it's not. Okay, let's try another one. It's a blend to neighbor. Okay, so blend to neighbor, the cool thing is basically it will take, depending on where you push with the cursor, it will either go to the previous keyframe or the next keyframe, right? And so let's say I'll just do less keyframes. We can probably use the sampling here to just go back down to less. Nope. And is there a decimate? Yeah, decimate. So we can decimate this, which is cool. And so for instance, blend to neighbor, I'm just going to grab this keyframe and put it here. And if I use blend to neighbor, when I push to one side, it will bring it towards the first keyframe, to this one. And if I do the same again and push it to the other side, it will blend towards the last one, to that one there, right? And so it's very cool because it will blend all these keyframes, for instance, towards that keyframe. So blend to neighbor, it's pushing all towards there. Those handles that you can see that are falling apart and going crazy, that's a bug that they're already fixing, but it's not a bug of this specific tool. It's a bug in Blender's graph editor and how the keyframe Beziers are handled. Hey Matt, thank you, man. Oh, I don't think I have heard of CG Drive before. Maybe I heard CG Dive. Maybe? Yeah, I should take a look at what they're doing. I'm thankful that you guys have been enjoying the content, honestly. I thought this wouldn't work at all. When I first did the first video, I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just do this series and that's it, I'm done. Because I had wanted to do it for a long time, but yeah, it's proven that it's helping, and so I'm super happy to be able to share all the content, the ideas, the experience. Hey Blaze, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? How's everybody doing today? I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be able to be sharing with you guys and seeing what's what. Let's check that the streaming. Yeah, there we go. Everything is going fine, I think. I hope you can hear me loud and clear, right? Where is the streaming actually? This is not the one. Yeah, I got a mess of windows here. So yeah, let's not do that, not do that. Okay, this one is the one that we were looking for. That's good. And I guess this build hasn't been updated with the widget. because I downloaded it today and I'm not getting the widget drawn, but it's probably part of the process, right? And so yeah, so blend to neighbor. So if I do blend to neighbor right now and push it to this side, oopsie, it should push towards that keyframe there. Boom. And then if we go blend to default, basically it would do the same, but it would push towards normally what would be 0. So for instance, if I use scale, I'll just delete most of these keyframes and I create 1 and push it over there, right? Blend to default should bring those values back to 1 because the default of the scales is 1. So blend to default, and then it's bringing it. And if I go 100%, yeah, that's not implemented yet. It says it is, but it's not. Blend to default. And so the more I push toward 100%, then the more we get towards that like default value. That's very useful. Then, well, again, we have decimate. We already saw that. So sampling will get you more keyframes on the curve that you have selected, and then, right? So from 0 to 100, and then some decimate would do the opposite. If you have a bunch of them, then you do decimate and we'll start getting rid of them. I think those two should be just one slider. So when you start in the middle, and then towards one side it samples and towards the other one it decimates. That would be ideal, I think, and that way we'd have one less menu here and more space for another thing. The smoothing one, I think it's, again, as I said before, I think it's not implemented yet. Or is it? Let's see. Okay, something is happening, but it's kind of weird. So basically what it should happen is that this one should go there if I have selected that area, or maybe if I select the entire thing, they all should kind of blend towards this middle point, right? You wish. Okay, so Chin Mei first. Please upload character animation video. Well, yeah. I have part 3 of animating a shot, of that animating a shot series. I have it recorded already, and it will be released next week, next Monday. And then I have to record part 4, 5, 6, and 7. I think that's how long it's gonna be. It might be 6 parts, but probably I'll push it to 7 because there's some few things that I know that in the 6 parts wouldn't fit. And so it will end up being even rendered and everything with Eevee and making it look pretty, and maybe even adding 2D effects, which would be cool. We're gonna talk about smears and multiple arms and all of that cool stuff. So yeah. Then Blaze asks, I wish Blender makes linking rigs more efficient and better. Well, with the library overrides, it's actually much easier than it was before. I think library overrides haven't been talked to too much about in the character side because it's still at an not early stage, but they're working on it. They're using them day by day in Blender Animation Studio. But I think it's still maybe buggy. I haven't tested it throughoutly. And so I've tried it and seems to work fairly well. I haven't done a shot with it, like haven't gone into production with it, but it does work. And I might be able to show you right now. I already made a video on that, which is due in the next few weeks. But it's super simple, to be honest. It's really simple. So I could probably show you today if I run out of things to talk about, but then that would make that video a little bit crap. In any case, let's keep on. No worries, Chine. Keep on asking for more stuff to do because sometimes I run out of ideas, and that helps me think what is important for people to learn about, right? Yeah, Maya references are great in some ways. I think there's like a double-edged sword there, because Blender has this great thing where you can only bring in a collection that you want. And so your scene can be, and I touch up on this in a video. Um, Blender, you can bring in just the parts of the scene that you need. And so if you're seeing, for instance, if you're working on look development and all of that stuff in that scene, then when you link, you just can grab the character, for instance, which that's very helpful for a smaller studio. For a bigger studio, you usually want your clean files with just the one thing, which makes sense, but that makes the Maya way, just linking everything that is in the scene, also makes it a little bit limited or complex in the way that it also brings in all the trash that you don't want in the scene. So it means that you need to keep that scene very clean, and you need to be cleaning it constantly, even if after you iterate, right? And so I think there's a good midpoint, and I think Blender with the new library overrides, it's doing exactly that. It's getting to that midpoint where linking is becoming super easy and super straightforward, but at the same time, you get that thing of not having to clean up the entire thing, but it makes it a little bit more complicated to set up from the beginning. Thank you, Shimei. Blaze, you're a freelancer and work in a studio. So right now, as like today, I am unemployed. I finished my last contract last Friday. The Friday before last Friday was, what was it? 30th. I was working at DNEG, this company which does feature animation and films and stuff like that. And so I was working for them on a feature coming out next year. And yeah, I've been basically go from one studio to another, 6 months, 8 months, 6 months, something like that. So this year my job was mainly at DNEG. I stayed there for 8 months, started in March. March the 3rd, I think, and finished on October 30th. And before that, I worked at Animal Logic in Australia from August till December. And before that, I worked at Jellyfish Pictures and so on. So I usually do work at studios, but for a fixed period of time, and then I move on, depending on if they have more work, if they have another interesting project. In this case, I wanted to take also a break, but they also didn't have more work until maybe January or something like that. So I'm taking a break right now. I'm doing some small freelance jobs and also working on my channel. I'm working on myself. I have a bunch of projects that I really want to get with. And so, yeah. So I do both freelance and studio work. Am I going to do, hey Brooke, welcome. Am I going to do a tutorial series on animation? Yes. So if you look at my channel right now, where is it? Right, my channel. So if you look at my channel, you can follow this series, which is called Animating a Shot in Blender. And this is a series when you already know how to animate, but I'll get you through my process. Like in the first one, we start like getting everything ready, the idea. Then we import the sound. We work with the camera a little bit. We fix the linking process with the proxies, with the old linking setup. Then in part 3, we end up like touching up the camera, creating constraints, doing all of that, setting settings, like general settings to make Blender a little bit more easy to work with. And you'll see that it's not that it's too hard to work with, it's that a lot of settings or a lot of things are there. They're just like not set up as you would expect or as you would want them to be set up. So in that video, in the third one, I basically go through every single button and say, this one should be this because of that, this one should be this because of that, this one should be this because of that. And then in part 4, which should come soon after, I need to start recording that one. We import our reference and we start animating, doing our blocking. And then part 5 should be starting to spline and polish the shot. And then part 6, we're gonna do smears and multiple arms and all that cool stuff. And then we'll final it in part 7 with rendering and adding maybe 2D effects or stuff like that. So yeah, it's gonna be like a complete series of animating a shot. Also, tomorrow I'll start recording my first course. I'm going to record an introduction to animation course, which is going to be about 7 hours between lectures and coursework, where you basically learn the principles of animation. We'll talk about film, we'll talk about everything kind of surrounding the craft of animation. Well, everything, the basics, obviously. And the idea is that you can, with this course, if you follow it, you can go from knowing nothing to being able to animate a walk cycle. And so yeah, we'll play with whatever there is to play. There's going to be rigs for it. So yeah, I think it's gonna be super fun course to follow. Hope you like it when I release it. Ideally, that course will be released mid-December, like close to holidays. It's gonna be very affordable, like $50-$60 or something like that, pounds, 50 or 60 pounds, and it's gonna be full of content and the kind of content that I do. I'm very technical on one side. I'm gonna teach you how to use the graph editor, teach you how to use every editor basically. I'm hopefully going to touch up into the NLE because I'm learning how to use it myself as well, but because it allows for some advanced workflows, so maybe I'll leave the NLE for a future course. But this one should be like a animation 101, and if you're interested into getting started with animation, definitely I think it's the idea that I want people to get from it, like just get the base knowledge so you can then take a next step, like going into like a super school or whatever. Like this is good. It's going to be just to get the introductions and the basics nailed. Hopefully you like it. Can I do a brief demo about library overrides? Yeah, of course. I'll do that actually. Let's do it. So let me finish actually with this and we'll do that. So there's one that we haven't touched. There's two actually, ease and breakdown. So ease basically will grab those keyframes that you have and push them on an easing curve towards the first or towards the last keyframe. So if I go ease, you'll see that the keyframes, I'm going to put them on something that it's not affected by that, like auto, yeah, something like that, ease. And so if I push to one side, you can see the keyframes are organizing themselves to get like a nice easing curve towards the second keyframe, like the one just after the one I selected. And if I push to the other side, it goes backwards. It goes towards that side. So it makes, let's just create something simple here. Let's just delete that. Let's delete that. And let's use just Y, right? So if we have Y here, so Y moves like that right now. And so if I want to create an ease in towards the last one, I'm going to go ease and then push it like that. And so now I get fast and slow. Let's make it more extreme. I think I have too many keyframes, so it doesn't work that well. Let's do this. Let's make it in a shorter time span. So if I go grab all of this and the ease, as you can see, the more I do it, and then you can also use the slider that's there, boom. So now it's gonna move fast at the beginning and then slow. Or I can do that to the other side, and then that's gonna make it go slow, fast, right? That's very cool. So the cool thing about these ones is that it makes much easier to handle a bunch of keyframes. And you don't have to have a bunch of keyframes, but it's one of the things that it helps, like if you have them. But like, for instance, you could still have like just a couple of them, right? Let's delete these two, and then use ease as well. Let's convert them to automatic. So I can ease to that side, and then it sort of gets there. Should be a little bit more like so, right? Or ease to the other side, and then it will push them to that one. And so it makes that easing curve easier for us. And then we can just change that one to vector, and then you get it. We can make it. So yeah, that's cool. So Matt asks, where did I learn animation fundamentals? Well, I don't think I've learned them. No, I think that there's a thing with the animation fundamentals where I think that for me has been a process of iterating over them. So I've studied several times. I've taken a bunch of classes. So first time in 2007, I took a class at Vancouver Film School in Vancouver, and it was a character animation 6 months intensive course, and it was great. At that time, I had no idea what animation was at all, like really zero. And so I didn't take as much advantage as I could have because I had to learn basically 3D, the viewport, moving around, constraints, rigging, and like so many concepts that I had no idea about. And so it was really, really hard to catch up with all of that and then also learn animation. I did end up finding it great. That's when I fell in love with character animation. And then I didn't work in character animation for a while. I did a little bit of compositing. I worked as a generalist. And then in 2010, I took another class in the animation workshop in Denmark. It's a small school, but it's one of the, to me, it's honestly one of the top ones in the world because of the quality of the work that they put out every year. Hola Nico, hi. He says that he loves me. He's a great guy. And so Animation Workshop has this intensive course of 3.5 months, which goes through basically animation, like a little bit of CG fundamentals in 1 week or 2 weeks. Then you get a little bit of rigging, and then you go full on animation for the rest of the class. And it's kind of like a month and a half of purely animation fundamentals until basically body mechanics, and you have 1 month of coursework where you do like a little project, and it's super good. That was also like a great learning experience. I got to meet really great friends, which I see today in the industry every now and then. And then after that, I went back to Chile. I started doing finally character animation like as a job. Like that was like my main job then. But I did it in advertising and really small projects. So I didn't grow that much. And then I ran a small studio, Pintamonos, in which Nicolas worked for maybe a year or something like that. And then, yeah, and I taught classes there in a few universities in Chile. And then in 2016, I went to Spain and took Pepe School Land, which is an animation school focused mostly in narrative and animation as well, but narrative, it's the main focus. It's understanding how to make things good, interesting. What's that thing that that keeps you hooked when you do something, a video, a short film, an animated piece. And so it's basically about how to do better narrative. And I love that course. That's definitely like, I'm glad I took it at that time and not earlier, because I wouldn't have probably learned so much or taken it so seriously. And yeah, that was gold. And I learned again the principles of animation, and then we went on and on. Because with the principles of animation, to me, there's this weird thing. It's like there's 12, and since I started, I've always thought I know them. But every year and every time I get a different teacher, or in a different project, or with a different people working, and everything, every single time I learn something new about them, about how to use them, about how to apply them, about how to make them fit into what I'm doing. Because the animation principles are kind of guidelines, and then depends on how you combine them, how much you push them here and there, it's when you start learning how to animate. And so it's funny, because the theory of animation, it's not huge, it's small, but with that small theory, you got so much to do and so much combinations to do. And then you need to add on top of that cinematography, filmmaking, anatomy, music, sound, all of the things that like go around it. Like, so animation is just one little part of cinema, and that's it. Like, as an art form, like the art form, it's not animation. The art form is cinema, and animation is just one technique to do cinema, and to portray emotions, and to get to your audience. And so yeah, it's massive subject to talk about, which I'll talk about in my course for sure. Peyacalion, hey, bienvenida, welcome. Amaoni, who's this? I don't know you guys. Well, I've seen you. I've seen your names. Welcome. So yeah, thank you for coming, everybody. Let's check out how this is going. 5,000! We made it, guys. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I should have like some confetti to throw myself in my face, but we can do Giphy. Yeah, this one, obviously. Welcome, scenes. So, celebrating the 5,000 subscribers. Well, not money, but let's say, which one works? Which one works? This one. Yay! It's kind of trippy though. So let's move on. And so yeah, that's what happens with this guy, the ease, right? And then we have breakdown, which is the same that we had in the 3D viewport, which basically will go in between either that one or that one. No matter how many keyframes I grab with breakdown, it will push them towards that one or towards that one. Interestingly, it should, yeah. So the difference between that one and like breakdown and blend to neighbor is that blend to neighbor starts basically with if you're at the middle, it starts with your same curve and then either pushes it to the one side and starts blending every keyframe to get there. Why is it not working? Yeah, there you go. To get there, it starts blending them towards that. And then with breakdown, it just puts them in the middle and then starts making them closer to one or closer to the other one. So you create a breakdown. So cool. These tools, again, are a work in progress. but it looks super promising so far. So yes, now second thing that we said that we're going to show is library overrides. I'm gonna, again, I have, if you look at my videos very quickly, there's a video on library overrides coming November 30, but we're gonna do a quick look about it here. And so library overrides works like this. I'm going to bring a new character with linking. And so I'm going to go to Rocket Girl, for instance, and I'm going to go to the latest release. I'm going to pick up version number 5. So link, and I'm going to go into the collection, and then I'm going to pick up the right collection. So I link it. So just as before, I just linked that one collection. The difference is right now is that I can go object, collections, create, link, relations, make library override. So when I make a library override, it asks me again, I don't know why, and you can see in the, what's it called, outliner. Can you see the outliner? You can't see the outliner. I'm going to push it over here. So if you see the outliner, wait, let me just go full screen for this, right? So if you look at the outliner, now when I pressed relations, make library override, now I can get into the collection, right? And because I had set it up for the old system, the rig collection is turned off. So I just have to go to the visibility options, that one too, and turn it on. And now I'm ready to use it. So it's super simple, right? I don't know how performant it is, but it should be just as fast, hopefully. Just turn on simplify, bring this down to 0, and then it seems to work fast. So that's library overrides, right? Super fun, super easy, super cool, right? And let's turn this one back down. Were you able to see anything? Maybe I was covering it with the chat. No, I'm not sure. So yeah, library overrides are going to be very, very useful, very cool. Because now, also because we have access to the geo, right? If I, again, I'm gonna go full screen, right? Because I have access to the geo now, I can, for instance, select that, and maybe I can change the colors. No, the colors, no. But I can change the modifiers. So I could add a, what's it called? Decimate, and then decimate the body of the girl. And then I can have like a lower version of that character in the scene. For instance, if the character is going to be there and I just decimate it, then it might take much less time to render, right? Or I can do effects with that because I want to do a short film where the character just gets different poly versions. I don't know, right? So yeah, cool stuff. So let's go back. So library overrides. And so, hey scenes, I don't know if I said hi before, so hi just in case. And thank you guys for the congratulations. I'm super happy we made it through. Woo! I thought we're not gonna make it through the stream. Matt asked, thoughts on Rigify versus AutoRig Pro. I know you say you use AutoRig Pro for game engine export, but I'm loving the rig type modular system of Rigify. Yeah, that's exactly it. I really like how the Rigify system works. I like it much more than I like AutoRig Pro. But AutoRig Pro has some pro features that I don't know how to build into Rigify, and I don't want to build them. Like I want a out of the box system that just does what I need. And so if I need to do something for a game engine, I'll go AutoRig Pro. If I need to do something for like just a shot or like a production, I'll definitely go Rigify. Also, the good thing about Rigify um, is because it's not Rigify in itself. It's not just the rig creation. It's the framework for creating rigs, and that allows people to do custom rigs automatically. And so you obviously need to know Python for that, but you don't need to know how to make the entire auto rig. Rigify does that for you. You create the rig types and set it up how it's going to build it, like how to build every part. And so, for instance, there is a guy that shared yesterday. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to go here, turn this off. I'm going to transition to that for now while I look for it. You're not that late, Tyrone. Just we're just talking about stuff. So I'm gonna go and see. I'm going to look quickly for rig type that they were sharing around. And so rigging an animation here. Very, very soon. Wait, give me 1 second. Where is it? Where is it? I got it right here. Somewhere. Just keep on asking stuff in the meantime. I'll catch up with you while I find this. It shouldn't take me too long. Scene environment, no. I've only put that screen because I can't show this chat because it contains stuff that we're not sharing yet. So where is it? Well, I really can't find it, but I have another one. Where is this? So I'm going to go here. All right, so bam. So here, for instance, in GitHub, if you go to Mets3D, github.com/Mets3D, and Cloud Rig, you're gonna find the rig types that they're using at the Blender Animation Studio. This is Mets. Mets is the guy that's the official rigger that the Blender Animation Studio has right now. And so if we go actually to GitLab now, we can just download this and then just download the source code, I think. Yeah, let's do that in zip file. I'm gonna put it in the desktop. Bam. And then, yes, it already exists. Oh, cool. And so now I can go file new, general. I'm going to delete all this stuff. And then going to edit preferences. I'm going to go add-ons and then Rigify. And so if you go under Rigify and then expand external feature sets, you can go and look for that file, which is in the desktop. And this is called Cloud something. Cloud Rig Master. So I'll add those external feature sets. And so it installs it for you. And now, right, if I change, I'm gonna put you guys screen and just screen so you can see all of it. Full screen. Right now, if I create a Rigify rig, I got like my typical armature, but you got also Cloud Humans, and so they have their own setup for humans. And if I just generate this rig, it generates the rig that they're using at the Blender Foundation, right? The current one. So I can hide this, and then I get that set up. With their feet set up, with their arms set up. In this case, this is just a body without a face, I think. And then, for instance, I have one for Sintel, I guess. That makes a different model of cloud rig. These are basically only body rigs, probably because they haven't been doing a very standard phases, not earlier on at least. And so if I go, maybe I can just create a single bone, right? And then I'll go into the feature sets, and so if you go cloud rig, now you can see I have all of these little extra feature sets to create their rigs. So they have their own spine like case, shoulders, there's eyelids. So they have like those pre-made setups, so you can create your own rigs with this, right? Which is very cool. Physics chain even, so I can add that sample, and if I generate the cloud rig, then I should have some type of physics chain, I guess. I don't know how it works though. I haven't tried it before, but that's the idea. You can create all of those custom bits and pieces that you need for your rig. So for instance, if you often create 2D characters, like cutout sort of characters, you can create your meta rigs for that, and then when you are in a production where you have a cutout setup, you just use that, and you're done. And you can and it's easily distributable because you just add that zip, and everybody has Rigify already in their Blender, so you just install it, and that's very cool. So Blaze is getting, as Blender is getting after update and update, I'm moving away from Maya for my personal work. Yeah, to be honest, I went through the same thing, but maybe 7 years ago. I started like following crazily all the updates, and it's kind of like very, how do you say it, engaging. Just seeing the updates, also being able to report bugs when you find them. For instance, today I found a bug and I haven't reported it yet, but it's a minor one. So if I create like an object, right, it has this material or non-material. If I create a material and new material, and you can see, for instance, there is a viewport display, and you can see there's a value for the alpha and a value for the value, which is a preset. It's like the default. But if I go and reset to default value, you can see that the alpha goes to 0800, and that was driving me nuts because I was doing this project and I wanted to render a playblast, like a viewport render, and everything was coming out semi-transparent, and I'm like, but I have my X-ray turned off. What's going on, right? And so until I figure out, like you can see very barely here, that this was the problem. And so that's a bug that I should report actually, and we could do that right now. And so I'm going to go help, report a bug. Let's do it all together. And so this is default value for viewport display color alpha wrong. And so because I did it from inside Blender, it gave it all of like the most important parts of my specs. So basically the windows that I'm using, the graphics card, and that's it. And then the version of Blender that I'm using, I do not think this has ever worked. But before we say that, we should go and open up maybe a stable release like 2.83 and do the same and see if it actually worked there or not. So I'll do that. If it opens, yeah, we got that version. So we're going to select it, add a little material there, we got it. And so if I go viewport display and right click, default to, yeah, that doesn't work. So 2.83 doesn't work either. also tested on 2.83. This is 0.8 and same problem. So short description error when resetting the default value for the viewport displays color. Revert when reverting to the alpha gets down to 0.8, making the object semi-transparent. So how do we describe this? We go open up a new scene, select the cube, go to the materials tab, scroll down to viewport display, right click on color, and then reset to default value. Whoopsie. Result. Call RGB. Values go back to the default, but alpha goes to 0.8. Thank you so much. And maybe we'll see, maybe tomorrow this will be fixed. You never know. And yeah, so that's how I just did a tutorial on how to report a bug properly, I guess. So which Blender is this? So this one that we just tested it was 2.83.8, which is the long-term release LTS. And then this one that I was using is the build where Christoph Lenfeld is showcasing this kind of stuff. As I was saying before, I reckon this might be an older version because the slider doesn't appear for some reason. I could potentially try and re-download it again and see if I just got an older version. So let's do that, download, do that. Oh, that might be new then. Because today I was pretty sure I downloaded. So let's see. Let us see. So let's see what the chat says. Are you guys looking? Let me see if you guys are looking at the chat too and at me. Yeah, cool. And I'm going to push this up. There we go. Hide it behind the window. So Blender, yeah. And so because of this, because of like being also entangled with all of these updates, it makes it super interesting and super fun to like be able to try everything every day and see how your workflow keeps improving with those things. So yeah, I basically, unless I'm doing an animation class or shot or something like that, I normally go Blender for everything. I took an animation squad class a couple of months ago, and that was all Maya, so I had to do that. And my work mainly at, for instance, when I work at a studio, normally it's in Blender. Next project that I'm going to be working on starting in December, it's going to be a feature film in Blender, which is super exciting. Have you tried Tomoko Motion Capture or Cascadeur? No, I have not tried Tomoko Motion Capture. I have never heard of it, to be honest. Tomoko Motion Capture. Is it this one? No, not this one. Is it this one? Single track, gray code. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, well, I don't know if there's like a place where I can see what it does. So yeah, that's it. Sorry. And Cascadeur, I've got a beta key to try it, and I haven't had the time to try it yet, to be honest. I think there's a potential there. I think our craft will evolve to a point that we don't need to animate so much stuff anymore. We'll have still to animate a lot, obviously, but a lot of the things can be to some extent automated or simplified by using AI, by using physics, all of that. And so I think Cascadeur has something, it's doing something right there. It's mostly oriented to do body mechanics and stuff like that. But I see the potential. I'm not sure if I'm going to get into something like that yet, but I am looking into how to make workflows easier, because at the end of the day, as an animator, I don't care about just moving every keyframe. I care about the performance. I care about getting to the audience. I care about telling a story with a shot, more than having to move every keyframe, which is what you do right now, right? So Blaze says, like Maya has playlist, Blender has the same feature. Blender has something similar. It's not as cool named. It's called Viewport Render, basically, and it will render based on your settings on the output file. So for instance, let's just open a shot. Let's just open any shot. I have one laying around somewhere. Not here. LollypopMan. No, not here. So this is an old shot. Was like a Christmas card I did a couple of years ago. And so if you want to play blast this, right, you can, for instance, select a section like that, and then go view, viewport render, and that should do whatever is in the viewport during that time. Should. Done. And now, for some reason, it didn't just pop out, and so you go render, view animation, and for some reason it's not reading it. Let's, probably I didn't set my output things right, so I'll just show you here. So I'll just go output settings. Okay, so Loli Navidad. Did it create a folder? Oh, shit, it just pushed it there. So yeah, for some reason my stuff is not set up very well, but actually let's do something more clever and do it as a clip.mov, and then make sure that the encoding is QuickTime. And now if I do a little part of the view, viewport render animation, boom, and now view render animation, and then it plays it back. Right? It would be ideal that it would pop out right away. I'm not sure if it's because it's not well set up or something like that. And so I should probably turn this stuff off before I do the play blast, and also turn off stuff like, for some reason we have the outlines, which are great. I love them, but they shouldn't be shown here. So yeah, that would be kind of what you want to do. And then again, viewport render animation, and then you can just go render, view animation, bloop, and it plays it back. And if you have sound, also will play it back with sound. Boop. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, since asked what's my studio. So right now I don't have a studio. I'm just working freelance for a couple of weeks. Actually, not really working. I'm taking holidays. But there's there might be a freelance project that may come in, and I'll take because it's an interesting one and it's a fun one. So yeah. And Rococo, you mean Rococo? What are you? What do you mean Rococo? Are you talking about the motion capture suit? Ah, not Tomoko, Rococo. Yeah. Ah, Rococo. Yeah, don't have a motion capture suit. I'm not interested in having one, or maybe I am. I don't know. There's mixed feelings there. I think still motion capture is a little bit too complex to set up to be useful for me. Like I know some types of production work really well with it. Hola Samir, welcome. So for instance, if you see the stuff that what's his name, Ian Huber does with the Rococo, it's freaking amazing, right? And he takes a good advantage of it because he's he's not an animator. He doesn't intend to be, and he doesn't want to be an animator. He's doing hyper realistic stuff, and so it helps him add characters to his things. And motion capture suit is cool, but also it's it's lacking the facial performance, which is a big part of it. And the motion capture suit mostly works for human characters when you want to do something hyper big or hyper weird or very stylized, like LollypopMan, for instance. As you can see, it's not really what you might go at first because you're designing the poses, while with the motion capture suit you're just acting it out, right? And so it's not better, it's not worse. It's probably meant, or it's actually meant for different things. But that doesn't mean that you couldn't use something similar for this. Like there's I have an Oculus Quest, and I really like it also because with a simple setup you could probably get most of the base of your body animation for a production for something that's in between realistic and cartoony. You can probably get some of that, and there's this software that a guy came up with to aid this. What was it? Motion capture Oculus. This is Glycon, and so this guy created this software where you basically use the Oculus as a motion capture device, right? And the cool thing is I already have an Oculus. You plug it in, you feed your stuff, get your animation, you just act out your animation with the Oculus, and then you push it out, and then you can use that as a base, and then clean it up, and then get your performance. If that helps somehow, I think there's a powerful way of mixing up your tablet, your drawing skills, your 3D, your motion capture, or in this case Oculus, to aid the process to make things faster. Yeah, for sure. I'm all for that. All for making things easier for us. And you see here, he uses the Oculus Quest and basically gets into a room. And yeah, it doesn't have feet, but if you can add the feet, like it's not a big deal because you'll get most of the body motion anyways. And so adding the feet shouldn't be a big deal there. It's super fun. Like I already downloaded it. I need to install it and start playing with it. And then he just gets like a little mirror so he can see what he's doing and acting it out. So yeah, exactly, he's using the controllers as puppeteering. That's one way. Another way would be, and that would be really cool, would be that you could grab, for instance, I did this in one shot while I was in this last production, and I grabbed the ball and started moving it in the scene and recorded that movement because I needed to do something that would go like da, 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 like very musical, and I used that as a basis of my animation, and then via constraints I made the thing that needed to point move, and then I added overlaps and overshoot based on that, and that worked super well, make the shot super quickly to do. So yeah, interesting things there, really interesting things. So give me a second, I'm gonna take a little toilet break. Just gonna turn this guy off. And then da-da-da-da-da. I'm gonna go to the toilet. I'll be right back. And I'm back. That was quick. I can still hear the toilet running. So, Ud Ama Full. Sorry, man. I just butchered your name. Hey, man. I just wanted to say thank you for all your tutorials. Thank you, man. Thank you for watching them. It's very encouraging to see people enjoying them. They are really helpful. At the moment, I don't have any reasonable questions to ask, but keep up the good. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. If you find it useful, if there's something that you're missing, if there's something that you didn't clearly understand in a video, definitely let me know in the comments of that video or anywhere, basically, because I keep on going through every single comment, making sure that I've answered all of them, hopefully, as time allows. And for now, time is good, so it allows it. and yeah, if you have any ideas on things that you'd like me to talk about, I'm super happy to dive into new videos and stuff. Obviously, it's all narrowed down to animation, to character animation mainly, and to using Blender for that purpose. And yeah. What else did I want to show you? I remember there was something interesting that I wanted to talk about. Module updates. And so, talking about the module, there's a, if you guys have been around Blender for a bit, there's this thing called the blender.chat, which is a website you sign up. It's where the Blender people hang out mostly. And the animation module basically contains all the discussions that we're doing on making Blender easier and faster and getting it better. Basically, I'm lucky to be part of the module in the sense that I get a straight channel to talk to people to improve certain things, and obviously it all has to be discussed, but we've made some great progress into making Blender easier to use, right? And so one of the deals, like what's it called, the main thing that we want to do with Blender's animation system right now is getting it up to standard. We're making things easier, making the tools work as you expect them to work, right? For instance, what is new? For instance, this thing, the color, what's it called? The bone group colors. It's a problem that pretty much everybody that knows Blender has. It's like, oh man, these colors. When you have good colors to look at in the viewport, then most of the stuff, let's turn off extras, relationship lines. Yeah, that's okay. So most of the when you create good colors to be able to see the controllers well in the viewport very brightly, you can see that they become super awkward to look at in the graph editor. And so you have to go view, show group colors, and turn that off. And that option, every single time you start a new scene, you have to go and turn it off. And if you don't remember to turn it off, then you have to go back and turn it off. It stays in the scene, but if you start a new scene, then you have to do it again. Also, if it's on in the dope sheet and you turn it off, it's still on in the action editor, still on in the shape key editor, still on in the grease pencil, etc. So that's one of the options, for instance, that now it's going to be moved. It's not going to be completely deleted, because if we find a better solution for the bone group colors, then you might want to turn it on back again at some point. So So now it's going to be moved, and you can turn it off forever. And then if it comes to the point that it gets fixed and now it's more useful, then you'll be able to turn it on. And just one click, you turn it off, you turn it on. And so other things that should probably go in there, because like this one is, for instance, where is my pre-frame selected? I'm gonna change this shortcut. So as you can see, in normal Blender, this doesn't happen, right? And so what happens with this is because I changed 3 options for this to work, kind of like you would expect. I had to turn this one on, and then I had to go to the preferences, animation, and then lower the F-curve visibility to 0.01, which is the minimum basically, because the curves are actually there. They're just like almost invisible. They should be able to go to 0. And now when you click one, then you just get that channel. This is like massive thing, and it's taken me ages to discover how to make it work more or less of how I wanted it, right? So yeah, Blaze says, one more thing I don't like about Blender's graph editor, you're not able to select the curves, you have to select the keys. Yes, and that causes an issue because in Blender there's selecting the curves doesn't exist, because you do double click on the channel and then that gets you the curve, or you can click and then press L and that gets you the entire curve. Yeah, I know it would be cool, but the problem is because there's when you propose a feature kind of like that, it has to have a very important thing behind it, which is why do you want to select the curve? What does it do when you select the curve? Because the first way that they were implementing it, without knowing where it came from, just a bunch of people from Maya saying, hey, I want to be able to select the curve, they were having a way where you select just the curve, but it doesn't select the keyframes. And so it's very important to be super clear about why you want to be able to select the curve. What does it do, select the curves? Because if you just select the curve, for instance, the one thing that they were doing is that now you can select the curve and make it active, so you can, for instance, select add modifiers. But that doesn't mean that you're selecting the keyframes, and so it makes it kind of weird. So be careful when proposing kind of things like this, because in Maya, the way it works, you don't just select the curve. A curve is part of the keyframes, right? And so selecting a curve selects everything that's in the curve. And yeah, I agree. It would be easier to just be able to do that and click and select the curve. Also, there's other things, like for instance, there used to be like, if I select all these keyframes, right? I'm not making any of them active. If I select one of them, then we get the active panels, like adding the modifier, the active keyframe with the values. But if I just go like this, it doesn't happen. And now there is a patch for that, and they're working on it. Let me close this. And I think if I go to the latest daily build, let's see. Right, I'm just gonna go here. Again, you see I have keyframes with no curves because I need to turn this one on again. So now I can get this way working. So if I select them, oh yeah, it's not in this patch yet. Wait, let's see if we can find that patch. Experimental branches, temp anim group colors preferences. It might be another one. Wait, experimental branches, F-curve, experimental build, active F-curve keyframe. That's another one. Yeah. So let's try it in this one first. Again, switch that. You see, I need to turn it on every time. That should be just an option in, yeah, it's not here. Let's close this one. And this one is to close that one, and then F curve, active F curve, keyframe. That one doesn't seem to be downloading. Is it? Experimental F curve active keyframe. There's a new one. Let's cancel this one. Oh, box select. There's a newer one. They've been changing the name so it doesn't update. Huh. Hey Anne, how you doing, buddy? Welcome. Unrelated to this topic, but if you were to animate a character moving from one location to another, would you use a curve to move the COG, or would you animate each step to move towards the location? So basically, the two options that you are giving are your two options, right? And it, like, each of both have their own pros and cons, and it basically depends of how a teacher would put it. Daniel Martinez Lara would say all the time, it's not a matter, it's a matter of how you want to be screwed, not anything else, because either way has big problems that come inherent to the way that you're using it, and so you just have to choose what are you willing to deal with, right? And so, for instance, if you create a curve and make a walk cycle and put the character moving around there, right? And then you want to, for instance, make sure that you can, I don't know, put the feet in place and make them work correctly, and then, for instance, make it stop and then make it go again. It has some certain problems, and if you make it like step by step, it's gonna be a more time-consuming process to get started. And so so that's one of the difference. With the curve and a walk cycle, you will get to like a blocking faster, because it will be like character block, like character walk. You do, I don't know, 24 frames for your walk. You put it in a curve, you make it walk, you got your walk cycle and you curve going around. So it's easier to show, for instance, in first instance to the director. But then when you need to get to polish, then you're gonna go, okay, so now I need to make sure that the feet stay there. I need to make sure that there's variation, that it doesn't look like a cycle, right? That the character doesn't walk exactly the same steps every single time, that the feet just go and how the ground it's working, etc. And with the step-by-step one, you're going to get to a better blocking, because you're gonna do it ad hoc to whatever the scene is, but that will give you other consequences that blocking will take much longer to do first. So again, it depends on what are your project constraints, right? And also depends on the type of show. For instance, if you're doing kind of like, I don't know if you guys, maybe this is all not news now, if you ever watch like Pocoyo, let's just pick any chapter because he walks in all of them. Pocoyo, come on. Be better off just doing your few steps, right? But then let's look further ahead. Same thing here. You might get away with doing a cycle and then repeating it and pushing it out, right? I want to see him. Come on, Pocoyo, you need to. For instance, let's look at one scene where he walks, or somebody walks. So yeah, you see this guy walking, for instance. That could be easily a cycle as well. In one sense, it's a secondary character. You could probably, with animation layers, add some noise and some extra detail there, so he's not, because as you see, it looks like it's not perfectly a cycle. He's walking, like his feet and his most of the motion of his body is a cycle, but the hands is doing something, the face and the head are doing something. So you can add that into a layer or do that ad hoc, right? Let's look for somebody else walking. So here, for instance, you can see that this is not really just a walk cycle, right? There's a lot of things in the body that make sure that it's just not a cycle, and it's a little bit more custom. But the main motion, for instance, here, you can tell that it's going like toot, toot, toot. You could probably do that with a cycle again. Let's see if there's more, another thing. By the way, this is my favorite movie. I haven't seen it in so long though. This one, you could never do this with a curve, right? You'll just get maybe the root motion going around and then move the entire character with something like animation layers from Tal, which is here. Hi Tal, welcome. Glad to you joined us, man. So yeah. And you see, even that cycle, when he runs away, look at here, next shot, I think. Yeah. Like, even if it looks like it could be, it could be a cycle, it's very, not unpredictable, just, it's very organic, and it doesn't have that cycle feeling that we had in Pocoyo. Any other example here? Yeah. So, as I said before, Amael Amaful. Sorry, man. You need to teach me how to pronounce your name. That's what I would say. So, Augment asks, any quick way to solo a channel in the graph editor? Yes. Okay. So this is like a new technique I developed because it's basically in Blender already. It's just hard to figure it out. So if we go, I'm just going to open this shot. Yeah, sorry, I activated slow mode just in case, because you never know. So as you can see, we can do this. And you may ask, why? How? So if you go to your view and turn on only selected curve keyframes, that's one, and then go to edit preferences and under animation turn your curve visibility to the minimum, which is not 0 for some reason, then you can just click a channel and then you get the channel solo in the graph editor. That's the best way I've found. I am going to try and push for them to move these options, at least these two, to the preferences. So once you set it up like this, then it just works, and then you don't need to change it ever again. That would be gold. Really, that would be gold. And when you select them all, you show them all. When you select one, you show one. If you select several, then you get those. Gold, easy, right? And so Blaze says, in future please make constraints in Maya, in Blender. The typo. Yeah, I'm going to make a video about constraints. That's for sure. One of the things I want to get fixed before is the baking system, because the baking system right now doesn't allow to smart bake. So when you create a constraint and then you want to get rid of it but keep the animation, it will create either on ones or on twos or whatever step that you give it to. And so that's not great because you lose your key poses, and you want to be able to keep them. Not all the time, not in every case, but in a lot of cases you just want to bake and just keep the keyframes, the original keyframes that you had, and not baked on ones. Sugamasta, welcome buddy. How you doing, man? It's been a long time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the nice comments. As always, man, you guys are always pushing me to keep on doing more, and I'm super hyped about that. Thank you. So yeah, did you like that augment? I think that's the best way. I only found out this like a couple of weeks ago. But again, in every single Blender that you start, you need to, after you set up that option here of F-code visibility to 0, then you need to go and turn this off, actually on, and then it works, right? It's helpful. I think if we make it all those options be here, then we'll have like a really nice graph editor for the most part in that sense. There's a few things that are still not working, but they're getting there. People are aware and they're improving it. They're hard working to improve them. So yeah, exciting shit, right? Yeah, let's close this. Okay, so there was another thing that I wanted to test today, and where is it? Here. So somebody shared this cool add-on. Something is on fire. It's my cigarette. And so this thing is onion skinning in 3D drawn directly into the viewport. So let's try this out. So I got this old animation I was doing some ages ago. It's not that great. I've been thinking if I should like repolish it. So we don't want to see relationship lines. I hate them. They're terrible. I don't want to see extras because relationship lines, they just show you a line and they're not very clear about who's the parent, who's the child. They're just like a big line that basically covers your screen. So yeah, I'm not super happy about them. So I'll always turn them off. I wish this option also would stay off if you keep it off, if you turn it off, but yeah. Anyways, so I'm going to install that add-on. And then I think I put it on my tools folder. Downloads, no, where is it? Yeah, well, there's a bunch of add-ons for onion skinning. I have, if you go into the links of any of my videos, there is a discount code for the onion skin, what's it called? Yeah, I think it's onion skin tools on the Blender market. It's a really good add-on. It's super full featured, whatever. But let's check this one out. This one is new and I've never tried it, so it might be good, it might not, we'll see. Blender add-ons, and then we go Anime Utils, I think it's called. I might need to uncompress it. That's the one thing that I don't like about the add-ons in Blender. Where is it? Tools, add-ons. Oh no, wait. Let's go back to here. So we want to download zip file. Anime extras. Aha, there we go. So we go back here and then we go to tools, Blender add-ons, Anime extras main. Oh, it's there. Wait. Install Anime extras main. There we go. Install add-on. So we turn it on. Does it say anything in the options? Nothing. 0.001. Cool. So where is it? Anime extras. Okay, so I need to select something. Let's say LollypopMan version 2, onion skin selected. So the first thing, I'm gonna report this to the guy, is that you can't use it in a linked character, clearly. Let's start with a new scene and make a keyframe. Then there you go. And so I really don't like that the timeline by default is so big, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get them to change that. You know, I have to choose my battles, right? And this is not a big battle that I want to fight. Right. Okay, so we got that, and then if I may set onion skin, and then draw. Ooh. Holy shit, I went a bit far. Well, that's cool. Seems to work quite fast. So 10 points for swag for smoking on stream. Okay, so the add-on firstly doesn't work with reference characters, which is something that's a must if you're gonna use it into any type of production. But if you're doing stuff like squiggly, like as usual, like slapping things around, definitely that works, and it seems to work quite well and fast. We should try it on some animation. Maybe remember I did this blocking with the rocket girl. So let's look for that. Somewhere I have that blocking that I did. Maybe one up. Recursions 2 levels, and then rocket girl. No, maybe 3 levels. No. Maybe I lost the file. Let's just grab this one, I guess. Yeah, let's just grab this one. Oh, not that one. So stupid, sorry guys. Rocket girl. Oh wait, didn't I do it here? No. Strange. So let's go up. And 3 levels. And so let's find like this one. So this character here, it's not linked. It's this is an Alembic file actually, because I did it in Maya a long time ago, before I rigged her for Blender. It doesn't work on Alembic files either. Oh god, my luck. Where can I do this? Yeah, we'll have to find an animation that I have somewhere. Let's find another where is it? So I don't want 3 levels anymore, none. Current projects, and then let's see. Oh, okay. This is a mocap scene that I was playing with. Onion skin, yeah, and that works pretty well. Now clear selected. The only thing I'm seeing though is that it doesn't do it on everything. If I have several things selected, it just picks one of them, but that's pretty cool anyways. Flat colors. Whew. And it goes frame by frame. Per frame, you can go direct keys. I don't know what direct keys would be. Per frame stepped. I don't know what that do. Ooh, that's very cool. Yeah, so there you go. You got yeah, this is not a complex character, but I haven't I'm trying to find a file where I have animation where the character is not linked. So that's a pain, because I normally link them. but let's try this guy. Batman walk. Oh, for some reason my camera is weird. Oh, yeah, there we go. Come on. There we go. So if I go grab the character and then boom, onion skin. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's slow for like it's not making it slower than it is already. And it looks pretty cool. So try with a more complex character, Rick, see how fast it is. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, man. Let's see if I just grab this one. Ooh, that's very nice. I like seeing my arcs there in the feet. It's a little bit of a pop there. And if you turn off, so yeah, that's kind of weird. If you turn off the overlays, it kind of cuts with the thing. So that would be important to maybe have an option that the if you turn off overlays, you can still see it. But I think it's promising. Like with a few minor tweaks, it's cool. I like this. Then, so how's the rocket animation girl? Haven't seen you more uploads. Yeah, so the Rocket Girl series next in what was it? In November 16th, the next episode is coming out, and then that's episode 3, and where we go through every single setting basically. I know it's gonna be a super boring video to some extent because it's mostly about settings, and then the episode after that we bring in my reference and we start blocking the shot finally. I'm sorry about that. I thought it would be just one episode about setting everything up and then making animating, but it just, there's so much to think about when you start a scene that that I want to like be, if somebody comes from another software and they've animated in some other software, they can just look at that series basically and understand how to just transfer to Blender. So I think that should be worthy of seeing anyways. So yeah, so it's coming. It's just taking long to do because it's a heavy workload to do that series. Every episode, as you've seen, it's like nearly 20 minutes, and usually the recording is about an hour and a half. In fact, that first one, like the first 3 videos were one recording of 3 hours, and there was so much information that I didn't want to cut, and so it ended up being 3 videos of 20 minutes. But it's coming. It's gonna get there. It's gonna be 7 episodes. That's what I have planned now, based on what I've seen already. So yeah, you could append your link NLA back into the source rig temporarily. Yeah, I could do that. That's not a bad idea. So if we go here and then grab that character, I don't remember LollypopMan version 2. I don't even remember what that is. So Blender file, let's look at this. So Las Aventuras de LollypopMan, characters, LollypopMan, wow. So should be one folder up, then here, no, actually no. So maybe here, no, maybe it was here. Da, 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 da. Nope. Las Aventuras, so it's one, I don't remember how this goes. 2 folders down maybe? There was an add-on. Wait. Edit link library. Which is now, if I go to the character and select it, then I can go edit link libraries. Ah, it doesn't work anymore. Doesn't work anymore. Yeah, maybe this is lost somewhere. LollypopMan version 2. Let's just look for that file. Open, don't, boom. 3 levels. Nope. All the levels. Looking for it. Nope. Maybe that file doesn't exist anymore. Oh, sorry. I crashed Blender. There we go. Didn't crash. Blender doesn't crash that easily. Let's find this guy. There's must be somewhere. This is not the version, maybe. LollypopMan. So many files, guys. Version 2 rig open. Oh, that's not the one. Damn it. Yeah, that's gonna be a pain. I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, let's move on, I guess. Next time I'll find it. Let's see if I can make this big again. Whoop, there we go. So next question goes, can we expect an option for weighted tangents? I wouldn't think so. I don't really see that it being that important. I don't know what, like, I understand the difference, but in Maya, for instance, you can't like rotate a keyframe, for instance, like this without touching the Bezier curves. So non-weighted makes sense then, because that way you can't extend a curve by mistake. It always stays. It might be, I don't know, I'm not sure. If you make a case about it, they would probably add it. If you make a good case about why it should be added, definitely they will consider it. But the case has to be made. That's the thing. Why is it that the way that now works, it's not good enough and we need a new way, right? Try with a more complex character. Have you had a chance to try Roomba? I did open it a couple of weeks ago. I have it. I just opened it up and played a little bit with the rigs. I want to try it with a Maya rig, not the ones that come, but I think you have to go through a process in Maya, install an add-on, export it, etc. And I haven't had time to do that yet. Looks very cool, looks very fast. It seems like they have thought about a lot of things considering into animation, and yeah, that's it. Can you post a link to this add-on? Of course I can put a link to this add-on. This one, right? The animation extras. I'm gonna put it in the description, but here you go. Script that auto-saves the scene. Ships with Blender, but it's buggy. No, this one, save incremental, it's I think doesn't come with Blender, but my friend Finn, which was here in the chat at some point, I don't know if he left us or not, he updated it and made it nicer. I think there might still be some bug here and there, or not, I'm not sure. I might not have even the latest version installed, which would be that I'm an idiot. Save incremental, so 1.8 API update. Yeah, he did the API update, and so basically what it does is if I press it, it will save now version. It will just press the increment. It would be like just saving as press the plus and then closing. But as you can see in the version that I have installed, then the version I have installed, it incremented it, but I'm still working on version 12 and I should be working in version 13. Oh, the linked library one. Yeah, the linked library one is a very old one, so it might not be updated. So we might need to tell somebody, or it might be that my file is contained and the stuff is kind of crappy. Let's just try it with another one. For instance, I have another shot. Let's go Dropbox, PSL, entregas, animación, tarea 42. Oh, rigs, actually not rigs. Scenes, repolish 3. So I got this shot, old one, and so I should be able to select this character, for instance, and then go edit library. Oh, it works. So maybe a problem with my file that it couldn't find it. So it takes you to the file, you do your updates, say you change the color, and then you can go and somewhere so this might be what's missing, because I don't see the button. There used to be a button to go back to your animation scene, and that doesn't seem to be here. And it used to be like somewhere, but yeah, I don't see it. And then you just go back to your repolish, and so it will get you to whatever file you were working with, and it's a cool add-on, but it might still work with library overrides. It might still be useful. Yeah, probably. So yeah, and that comes with Blender. It was made by Jason Van Gumster. Oh, you did fix the bug. So maybe I have an older version installed still, because I'm an idiot. Let's see. Save incremental. So I'll remove this and then install the new one. And this should probably be in my Dropbox, Tools, Blender add-ons. Save incremental. Yesterday at 3:51. Let's see. It still says version 1.8, by the way. And if I press save, yeah, you're right. It's fixed. Now it works. You see, I press saved and it just incremented that last number to 4, and that is gold. Thank you, Finn. We should like give people that add-on, because it's definitely a must. Like, it's sad that it has to sit over there. It should sit over here, but it's because the way the menus in Blender are built that it makes it super hard to do something like that. But maybe it should be part of Blender, like really, because you shouldn't, like in any production, one of the worst ideas is to overwrite your file, and so having Control S to save really is bad practice. Mostly because when you're working on a large project, you're usually working on network drives, and so if you overwrite a file while in a network, if something happens to that network, that means that that file will get corrupted 100%, and so that means you're screwing. But if you're saving while and there's a problem with the network, you only corrupting that new save file, not the one that you had previously. So it's always a good idea to save increments and then maybe delete after you have 10 of those. So yeah. So yeah, cool. I'm a fool. Ask is this live stream gonna be uploaded once I'm done? Yes, of course. Wow, it's 9:30, so it's been 2 hours, guys. It's been 2 hours. Yeah, I think we can call it, unless anybody has some final questions. I think 2 hours is long enough. If we keep on going, we could go like 3 days. So yeah, let's push for that option to be added. I would appreciate it. And yeah, there's a video coming about this shot soon, where I try to help you visualize it in a little bit in a little bit better frame rate than those 12 frames per second that I have. So look out for that. And before we finish it up, if nobody has any further questions, let's put my face. Yeah, there we go, full screen face. And do you know how to properly replace a linked library? So there used to be a time where linked libraries actually didn't allow it, and nowadays you can. It's a pain, because basically what you have to do is go here, go to your Blender file, and then find, like, double click this and then change the route to the new file, save that file where you're working on, and reload it. So let's try it, maybe just for the fun of it. So we can, for instance, try and replace it with another agent version. It should more or less work. Oh no, because this is the old linking system. We cannot have two instances of the same character, so that wouldn't work at all. So how do we do this? Let's open a file where we only have the agent, for instance, or Boris. So if I go to shot 1, right? So shot 1 only has Boris. I'm gonna hide that. Oopsie. So I'm gonna hide that. And so we have this file where only Boris is here, right? And then I'm going to replace that one. I'm going to go open, don't save. I'm going to go to the rigs, agent 327. I'm gonna copy that name. I'm gonna cancel this. And then you just replace that file with him, right? And so now I should save incremental to version 8, and it reloaded it, and it's not working. It is not working. Why? Probably the reason might be that for some reason the names of the bones have changed. So what if I go to my, well, if you have another version of the same character, it should work, but they're widely different, so that's maybe why it doesn't. So interestingly, yeah, you see, like, everything got disconnected. Maybe I should just, like, reload it. Oopsie. Open, don't save, shot 1 8 agent 327.blend. Yeah, but still looking for Boris low proxy agent high. Yeah, that didn't really work. So no, like, I've done this exact process, but just with a newer version of the same file, where basically the rig is pretty much the same, the name is the same. I think that's why it didn't work, because the naming of the rig is different and the post bone of the rigs are different. Yeah, sorry. We can try another idea. Let's go open. Let's just delete that version. Let's open that one. Cool. I'm glad that it works for you. Awesome. So I think that should be it. Give me a second. I'll just go here and add a video. Video. very quickly. If you have any final questions, just like ask them now, and then otherwise we should just
This
play this.
episode is sponsored by me. Use the code below to get 10% discount on any of my products.
So yeah, that was my ad. I hope you enjoyed that. That allows me to make this channel keep on going strongly and keep on bringing you more Blender videos. Hope you're liking it. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for being here for my 5,000 people subscriber minute. It's like my minute of fame. Yeah, and we're still at 5,000. So nobody has unsubscribed since we started, which is great. So we're steady at 5,000. So yeah, thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed this live stream. Again, second live stream. Remember, we're going to be doing one live stream every 3 videos, so once a month basically, on Sundays at 7:30 p.m. It's been a pleasure for me to answering your questions, and I've enjoyed a lot the process. So yeah, have a great time, have a good night, keep animating, and keep coming back for more, because I'm gonna be here just bringing you all I know. Have a good night. Oh, I should put the outro.